Last time we have looked to Japan. Let's continue to looking to the unemployment trends. Note that actually the endpoint is 2010, so I encourage you to look further what happened after 2010. Although to some extent we will do it also in the in the last week. But if you are curious, certainly, you might go and look to them to what happens to the unemployment rate. Here you see that starting with 1990s, in most countries, this is United States, where you have a relatively low 6-8% unemployment rate, and it has fallen to 4%, and then risen back, and kind of ended itself at the point where Japan is today, which is 4 or 5%. All other countries, especially after 2009, have a higher unemployment rate. This is the United States ended up at a high place, 10%. So the country which is relatively low unemployment rate at the very end is Australia, which is same as Japan, and this is New Zealand, and this is Canada. So United States has come from 6%, and then at the end of 2008 it has gone all the way to 10%, and after that actually it has gradually come down, although coming down doesn't make the people of the United States satisfied, and that's a whole other question, why workers are not satisfied even though unemployment rate has come down. It's a big question we should ask, maybe. This is Europe. Its range is from 4% to 12%, and it starts all countries around 6 and 8%, basically, except this one, which is Germany. And throughout 1990s, Germany actually has the unemployment risen all the way to 10%, and then it has fallen to 6%. So Germany has become the best economy in Germany. So the range is between 6% and 10% between different European countries. These are the most developed ones. And these are developing countries. Turkey, as you see, has a typically high unemployment rate. South Africa has a huge unemployment rate, basically. For Turkey, actually, if you want to see the full picture, I encourage you to look also to the labor force participation rate, basically. Russia, 7.5%. Korea, it's a developed country, of course, Korea. It is a low unemployment rate. China is a very low unemployment rate, of course. That's a result of the development level. Brazil has, in 2009-10, they have managed to decrease the unemployment rate to some extent, as well as Indonesia. So that's the picture, basically. You can see from these rates. We have gone through this. These are the percentage of unemployed people who remain more than 1 year unemployed. In 2010, for example, in the United States, this number has risen to 29% of unemployed people. In United Kingdom, it was always high, although risen to a higher value. In Spain, it is high. In New Zealand, for example, it is very low. In Germany, we have seen it was best country in Europe, but this percentage is very high in Germany also, although it has slightly gone down. And more or less in all countries, to some extent, it has gone up this amount, as you can see. In Japan, it is 30, 33, 28, 37%. It is high also in Japan. If you are unemployed, you stay long unemployed, at least 1/3 stay longer than 1 year. So let's continue. So now we can go to the basic definitions. Natural rate of unemployment, as we have seen, according to economics, actually there is the job search process itself is creating stable unemployment in the economy, which is healthy, and this healthy rate is important. I mean, it is also sometimes taught as the rate at which unemployment stay on average. Basically, it might go above or below it, but at least kind of at equilibrium, unemployment rate is natural rate of unemployment. Well, ideally, of course, at this rate, at least, I mean, according to the mainstream definition, maximum definition, would probably argue on that unemployed people should be more than vacants. But if the main problem is the time you need to find jobs, in that case, or the employer to find you, in that case, I mean, the time is the only reason why this type of unemployment exists, and in that case, vacant jobs and unemployed people should be equal to each other. Okay, how can we statistically find natural rate of unemployment rate? Because it is important to know this rate and see whether the country goes above or below it. One way is just taking average unemployment rate, for example, for 25, 50 years, 100 years, you might take what is the average unemployment rate throughout that period. Of course, the drawback, the bad side of this method is natural unemployment itself might have a trend. So you assume during the period you take the average, the natural rate of unemployment has remained stable. The other one is actually you measure unemployment level when the economy is not experiencing unusually high or low output level. So when output level is average level, in that case, it is assumed that unemployment level is also at its natural rate, basically. So this is one method. But this method also assumes that unemployment rate and the output fluctuations are directly related and always related. Although this could be an argument, but it also can be questioned, basically, this argument. Well, the fourth one is actually using inflation, which is assuming that the natural rate inflation is constant, basically. Again, inflation. It assumes inflation is the main factor, at least the dominant factor that's affecting inflation, is unemployment, according to this type of calculation. The third one is using statistics. Actually, it looks to changes in the unemployment, and statistically, it is separating the cyclical movement from the trend movement. That's how it calculates the natural rate of unemployment. So these are the different natural rates of unemployment in different countries. United Kingdom, it was 8.6, then fall all the way to 5.8. France, it is high, 9.3. It has slightly fallen. United States, it is 5.3. Actually 9.1 in Italy and 9.3 in France in 1990 is a huge number. Even France is now 8.7. So at 8.7, it's at the natural rate. So if it goes below that, it is unsustainable according to this. But France is usually taught, at least mainstream economics also claims that France is a country with a lot of labor market rigidity. So it's not easy. All this rigidity is difficulty to find job, difficult to get certain. To fire people also. Adjust your labor size, make it difficult for the workers themselves to find job according to this view. And these numbers are calculating using the fourth method, NAIRU, the inflation. It assumes that natural rate is the rate that makes the inflation rate stable. So factors that are affecting natural rate frictions, we have seen that structural factors, wage rigidity, we will go further in wage rigidity, mismatch of demand and supply of skills. You might have certain skills, but the skills actually demanded might be different. So those people who demand those skills might not be able to find the workers they look for. Some labor market characteristics like unemployment benefits, which might encourage people to stay unemployed longer, since they have some income available. Income taxation that create labor costs. You need to pay higher cost for the higher money for the worker, and part of that money actually doesn't go to the worker. Those create labor costs and is not part of the income of the workers. At least in case of the unemployment benefits, as long as they are not unemployed, although they got that, it provides an insurance for the workers, which might affect their behavior and they might even be happy about it. Factors that prevent markets to reach equilibrium level, unions, wage regulations, are also taken in the mainstream economics as factors. Factors that affect the natural rate. Which factors are more effective might be a question that could be asked. Well, there is a research done on this. So natural rate, what are the factors that are affecting natural rate? In order to be the natural rate, you need to have a star next to it. This is statistical research. Unemployment insurance replacement rate. Well, that is actually the unemployment insurance replacement rate shows how much of your income, what percentage of your income is actually paid back as an unemployment insurance when you got unemployed, and that has some effect on the regression coefficient, although relatively small effect. The product market regulation has a very large effect, which means actually the regulation of the price, not from the labor side, but from the product side, the price floors, or quantity regulations, maybe the way how you sell your product is regulated. Labor tax wage is basically, how much income tax you pay as a workers pay. Has again a significant but small effect. So the largest effect is product market regulations, basically, on natural rate of unemployment, positive effect. And there are some negative effects. Union density. Actually, union density is not significant since there is no star next to it. Similarly, employment protection legislation. If your employment is protected, it's more difficult to fire you. That legislation also doesn't have that much effect on the, significant effect on the natural rate of unemployment, according to this analysis at least. Degree of corporatism, if you have more professional companies, that very significantly decreases. Well, active labor market policies, those are the policies that develop the skills through training of the workers and help them to find job by active institutions. They have a small but significant effect on the natural rate, negative effect on the natural rate, basically. Anyway, we will continue in the next part. See you in the next part.